Yes, my name is Claudio Santarelli, and I am a business developer for academics at Siemens Digital Industry Software. And today I'm very pleased to discuss with you about how digitalization and digital transformation is impacting and changing higher education. Just let me give you a brief overview of our company, which is Siemens. I mean, you must have probably heard about Siemens, but last year a new chapter started. And just to give you a brief overview, we have now two small industry-focused company. The first is the Siemens Healthineers, dealing with healthcare and the health system, and the other is Siemens Energy, dealing with the energy transformation topic. And then we have the main company, which is Siemens, dealing with transformation of industry, infrastructure, and mobility. And this is where I belong. Obviously we have several branches inside the Siemens company. We have the digital industry, the smart infrastructure, mobility, and similar stuff. And I also belong to the digital industry because the topic of digital transformation is for us a priority. And within this digital industry, we are the division dealing with software. So we are somehow a software company, and this is also where I come from, and that was just to give you a brief overview. Since our main focus is on the industry, I would like, and our main partner, our companies, so I would like to give you a brief overview of the challenges that the industry is facing right now. And you can summarize that by saying that technology innovation is disrupting today's industry. It's an ongoing process, and we are looking at our partner to see what challenges are they facing, and it challenges that spans or cover the whole production process. There is a change taking place in the way products are developed. You may have heard about generative design, smart models, or system-driven development, but changes are also taking place in the way products are produced. Machine learning, advanced robotic, additive manufacturing, they are all topics that the industry needs to face. And then obviously, since it's a transformation spanning the whole process, there is also a change in the utilization of product. If you think about cloud technology or big data analytics, or think about, for example, predictive maintenance, where artificial intelligence is leveraged to predict and correct problems in the production line. These are all new technologies, new topics that are now challenging the industry. But at the same time, we belong to a society. And at least in Europe, I would say in Europe, we have to deal with a long-going demographic transition, a long demographic trend. And I've been showing you one example, one study. It was done a couple of years ago. Focusing on Germany, we are going to experience a shortage of around 2.5 million employees in Germany. And this is because of the so-called demographic transition. The most affected sector are IT, electronic, information, and communication, which may recalls or which are exactly the same sector that we are dealing with. So basically, we are going to face in the near future a situation where less or fewer or a smaller manpower needs to do more. You know, a so-called more with less situation. And in this case, we strongly believe that the automation, process optimization, and digitalization will have a stronger impact. And summarizing, digital knowledge is going to be a case asset for future employee and management. And we also believe at Siemens that the digital transformation is going to be a key asset. You know, we have been talking about digitalization and digital transformation. Let's say there are many different descriptions of this process. Let me focus on one, which in my humble opinion, fits very well. The digital transformation is a reframing of the digital process. So basically, we are in the need of utilizing all digital information during the whole process to build better, smarter product. For example, we can use simulation to predict the behavior of product. We can use collaboration and so on. All this digital information needs to be properly and smartly used during the whole process to build a better product. And since this process covered the whole production process, basically it requires also that people with different background talk seamlessly with each other. So interdisciplinary is an asset, the so-called interdisciplinary mindset, and also seamless collaboration. We are no more exchanging data just, I don't know, with on our tables or so on. Think about the cloud technology. This is how people are now collaborating, or this is how the industry is trying to face such challenges. And obviously, the benefits of this transformation are huge, but also the benefits and the challenges are huge as well. And new competences are essential. And just let me brief mention about my previous. I was dealing in my previous role at Siemens. I was dealing with a commercial customer, not with the academic partners. And in my last year, I was experiencing that companies are not ready for this. The companies are not ready for this revolution. Obviously, there are some exceptions, and we have also today partner companies that will talk about that. But in general, the industry is still missing some basic knowledge and some basic idea. And so my question is, who can be in charge of the digital transformation? Who can drive the digital transformation? And if we are here together today at this meeting, is that we know the answer. University, educational institution, and student can drive or should drive the digital transformation. That's why the motto of our academics program is digital transformation needs education. And that's why in the following minutes, I will talk about the Siemens academic program as an essential part of a global Siemens strategy. So basically, the Siemens academic program is the way we want to support, to accompany the university and the educational institution in their journey towards the digital transformation. So that together, as Siemens as a company and university, we will be able to meet the industry standard, for example, to leverage the software utilization, to enhance new technologies such as the digital twins, to embrace the digitalization, to partner with industry, and also to challenge the student with with industry standard project. These are all parts of the academic program that I'm going to talk about. And obviously, I don't want to make any fool of you. We are a revenue driven company, basically. So obviously, our main goal is to provide to I would say to sell licenses. But among in this strategy, also the academic strategy plays a huge role. So we can define, for example, overall scope of for this strategy for the academic program, which is obviously the market penetration of Siemens software, the utilization in the classroom, and also increasing a awareness and knowledge of the Siemens portfolio. But at the same time, when dealing with teaching, like university or research, then we are following some higher, I would say, some strategic scope, like the increased awareness for strategic topic, digitalization, industry 4.0. We want also to empower, we would like to create an empowering exchange between industries and university. And also we would like to promote networking between university when dealing with such topics. And the sorry, the products or part of the solution we deal with are obviously our software. So we are a software company, and we deliver software. And our management took the strategic decision that our commercial customer gets exactly the same software as our academic one. So there is no difference in the software. Our prices for the software are extremely discounted for academia. And also, and I will talk about that in a couple of slides, we have free access for all student and educator to the Siemens training, to the Siemens on-demand training. And as part of the solution, we have predefined and adaptable curricula for a wide spectrum of discipline like computer or computational engineering, industrial engineering, and we also provide pre-configured solution for our software. One of the big part of the Siemens academic program is how we can help educator to adapt their curricula to meet the challenges I've been talking about. And this is why we invest a lot of resources in constantly creating and updating new learning material. You can even, I mean, everybody can, not only educators, but everybody can for free download our free curriculum. They are tailored for several engineering disciplines, and at the same time they can be easily customized. They comprehend theory, exercises, and tutorials, and also some predefined software solution. And at the same time, as I said before, we also provide for free access to our on-demand trainings. These are software training. These are more specific software training that have been developed for our commercial customer. And we have taken the decision to provide this for free to all academic institutions, to all student and educator worldwide. Another big part of the Siemens academic program is the support of the so-called student competition teams. You might be aware that worldwide there are an ever increasing number of student competition in the most diverse industry sector, and I'm going to show you a couple of example now. But important is that Siemens also took the decision to support every of this team with free license and free training. And this competition you may have heard about. They deal with the automotive, with aerospace, transportation, robotic. For example, Formula Student. I will also go a little bit deeper on that. We also support team building solar cars, so at the edge of new technology, exact of the Hyperloop, but also I have brought an example from the robotic field. So this is also part of our academic engagement and is the support of the so-called competition teams. And when I showed or when I briefly introduced Siemens, I also showed this slide. And obviously, I didn't mention that we have also some country-specific company. And since I am in Germany, I would like also in the following minute to give you also a brief overview of the so-called German approach. So what are we doing? What are we doing in Germany for the academic program? And I will briefly go through three different examples. One is the so-called three-phase account development of university, the Windpower 3 or win-win-win model, and I will bring you also two examples of the so-called German approach. So in the first example I would like to talk about is the so-called three-phase concept. So you see in the middle of the slide the university as we envision the university towards or along their journey towards digital transformation, and we together with our business partner, we have developed this three-phase concept. So in the very first step, we provide software, or we engage with them. We provide assistant, software, installation, free curriculum, and so on. And this is the so-called onboarding phase. So it it can take up to weeks or month or even year, depending on the university and depending on the topic. But this is the first phase where we really accompany them at the beginning, when we make them aware of new trends in the industry, of new topic, and so on. The second phase is the so-called learning phase. So once, I would say, once they can now use the software, they are aware of the topic, of the challenges, they can implement them in their curricula, for example, and this is still the learning phase. And in the third phase, we have the so-called productive phase. And this is, to our experience, exactly where the universities can get this added value from the digital transformation. They can they can deal with the industry need. They have a stronger awareness for such topic, and they can also accomplish one of their main goal, which is the formation of new talent. And last but not least, they can also deal with innovation project, and they can easily access funding from the industries. So this is the three phase concept that we are dealing with when we engage with the university. And another example of the German approach is the so-called Windpower tree model. As I said before, we are a company, a revenue-driven company. So we have developed this approach to engage at the same time with university and with commercial customers. And it's a model that we use so that to create a win power tree or a win-win-win situation. And the three players are obviously the university, the customers, and Siemens digital industry software. And when we try to engage, we define projects that can be beneficial for the three of us. And in the following way, when dealing with this or when embracing this wind power tree model for the university, the advantage is to get seamless contact with the industry, which can also lead to funding from the industry, and they also can increase their visibility in the environment they live, and also they have the chance to promote bachelor, masters, and PhD theses at the top industry standard. And for our customer, which I said before, they are maybe not so much ready for the challenges. Then they have the chance, by dealing with the university, to create the so-called pilot project. So they can be predefined project when, for example, they try to to test or to experiment a new solution, and they can do it in the collaboration with the industry. And then obviously they are also able to get let's say easily resources for innovation, and also with the exchange with the university, and they are also interested in the acquisition of new talents. And the advantage for Siemens is that we would like to play the role of a digital advisor. We increase the awareness for our software or for our solution, and we are also interested in the formation of new talents. So this was the wind power tree model we have developed in Germany. Let me mention now three examples from Germany of how we engage with industries and with university. The first example is the so-called PLM Tactile. The PLM Tactile is a free downloadable and customizable curricula that we have developed together with the Steinberg Formation. It's a PLM, so basically it's a product lifecycle management, and it's take the example of a fabric of bicycle to teach the students how to deal with the digitalization, how the whole process can be digitalized, and now this curricula are available for free for all universities. And another example is the University of Applied Science in Darmstadt, which is a Western German city. And there, Professor Siemens, with our support, have created a smart learning factory. A smart learning factory, it means it's a real factory which has a complete digital twin. So basically, everything that happens in real life in the factory has also a digital counterpart, which we call digital twin. And in this, with this model, student can really learn how the digitalization works. So they see what's happening, and this can simulate it at the computer at the same time. So and this is the perfect combination of practical and digital screen and digital skills. And obviously, in a pre-COVID environment, not today, but maybe in the near future, we will also be using again this small factory as a competence center and incubator. What do I mean by incubator? By incubator, I mean that we have already um, organized events with our commercial customer at the university in Darmstadt. And with this example, we were able to present our solution. So it was also an example of the wind power tree situation where universities, in this case Darmstadt, industry, and Siemens get together to see how really digital transformation works. Another example of the wind power 3 model is the Formula Student Germany. The Formula, I think everybody is aware that the automotive industry in Germany plays a very big role in the society and also in the industry. So that's why the so-called Formula Student Germany is also very important. It's a student competition where teams from all over the world meet every year in Hockenheim, where also the Formula One was taking place. And Siemens is sponsoring this event for the last 6 years. We have every year about 120 teams. This year's a couple less because of the COVID pandemic. And we go there every summer and we engaged with the student. We talk with them, we show them our solution, and we try also to address the future, the digitalization topic also among the Formula student teams. And beyond the event, Siemens also organizes workshop, trainings, and continuous support for the teams. And this is also another example of the win-win-win model for the German automotive industry, because you can see on the slide, these are all the other sponsor of the events, and these are exactly the same company, the same industry we are talking with. So also there is a way for us to engage at the same time with the industry and with academia. So basically, what I've been talking so far, digital transformation needs education. And I hope that I was able to cover this message that completely represents the Siemens academic program. Um, Universities face new challenges and new skills are required. Interdisciplinary attitude and digital mindset are essential. And the idea of the Siemens academic program is that we would like to accompany, to support the academia to build future generation skills. Usually I would give you my cards, but since we unfortunately do not meet in person, I hope that we can stay connected anyway. My email should be quite easy to remember, or you can contact me on LinkedIn, and I would be very gladful to get this conversation also with you. So thank you very much for your attention, and I am looking forward to hear your question or comments.
Perfect. Thanks, Claudio, for that great presentation. We do have a few audience questions that I'll pose to you. So the first one is from Cloda Jenkins. She asks, are these courses only tailored for engineering STEM subjects, or are there courses of wider interest, i.e. programming or statistical analysis?
No, statistical analysis and I in programming are also part of our curriculum. Maybe I got the wrong message or that I forwarded the wrong message. Obviously, we are mainly dealing with engineering courses, but obviously we know that digitalization covers a much wider spectrum of university courses. So we try also to cover with our curriculum many other disciplines, and we are constantly working on that. So if not today, maybe in a couple of months, we will be also adding additional curricula.
Perfect. The second question is from an anonymous poster, but they've asked, can digital remote learning ever completely replace face-to-face or in-person teaching? Is this a blended approach going to be the way forward, do you think, from what you've experienced with
Um,
universities?
this is a very interesting question. I don't want to talk for Siemens. I just want to provide my idea. I was also working at the, or my yes, my opinion. I was also working in the university, and no, e-learning won't replace, or at least in my humble opinion, no, it cannot be replaced. No, there needs to be a face-to-face approach. Maybe some type of courses can be delivered online, but there still needs to be really a personal interaction. For example, when I was working at the university in Dresden, we were also offering e-learning courses, but I think every second month we were gathering the student also in the university so that we could really get to know them and so on. So I think independent of the pandemic situation, I think that a combination of face-to-face approach and e-learning is, in my humble opinion, the best way.
Perfect. Okay, another question from Siwa Bani Musa. Do you think that one day we can collaborate to have one global digital sector that connects all networks? So I suppose looking at Europe's digital economy at the moment, which we'll be discussing in the program later. Do you think we're working towards that, having one digital sector where giving it better access to equity for online education?
I think we are working on that. I mean, I think that could be the goal, but we are still far away from that. And as I said, also our digital transformation approach tries to cover the whole process in the industrial process, but we are still challenging to bring this awareness in the industry. So before we reach really a whole digitalization, it may take some time. And obviously, companies as well as institutions needs still to be independent. But I think that is the vision we're talking about. Yes, the long-term vision.
Perfect. This one also from Anonymous. How is disruptive innovation addressing the skills gap across Europe and beyond? How do we leverage this to improve graduate employability?
Can you repeat the question? Sorry.
How is disruptive innovation, so all these innovations that we talked about in the presentation, how are we addressing the skills gap? So we talk a lot about universities having to kind of
Yeah.
work towards graduate employability. So how is kind of industry, I suppose, supporting that initiative?
The industry is supporting this initiative by asking us to help university educate student with new skills. We don't want to replace universities, but we know the needs of the industry. Maybe because we deal with industry every day. So we are trying really to leverage our competences or our knowledge of the industry and support. We don't want to replace obviously universities, but we want to support them into formating students with new skills. That I think is our approach.
Perfect. And then the final question that we've got is we talk a lot about innovating in the classroom, but how do we create innovative minds? I suppose that is down to working with the educator. But yeah, from your experience, how do we create that
Mm.
positive classroom experience and ensure that we're building creativity and skills within our curriculum?
I think one possible approach, which is my favorite one, is it deals with interdisciplinary. Okay, we need to stop about thinking about silos. For example, mechanical engineering, automation engineering, aerospace engineering, and manufacturing engineering. We need to address topics that
Mhm.
cover the whole sectors, so interdisciplinary is also a new way of thinking. And companies as well as university are starting to face with that, but we see this as a priority. For example, exchange between different classrooms, or project that deals with product from the beginning to the end. The Formula Student is an example of that. It's not just about constructing a fast race car. It's about the business program. It's about the interaction with sponsor. It's about knowledge transfer when new teams approach. So this interdisciplinary mindset, I think, is one of the biggest chance we have, and also one of the biggest challenge, and we should go towards that. And that's why we try also to create, for example, with PLM Tactile, the so-called interdisciplinary curricula.